Hey, hello, and welcome to another Phoenix Fitness Fanatics magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. We are doing our Authors Network Spotlight today with some more of the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse Anthology Authors Vol.2. So we're taking center stage on what? The Own It platform once again. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring in my girls real quick because these girls are just amazing. Come on in, Carla. Come on in, Laquita. How are you
Hi,
today?
everybody. Hello,
Oh my goodness, I'm
hello.
so glad to have you today. I mean, we've been coming out here. We are really just excited about this book that's coming out. So y'all gonna see us just all the time. I mean, there's 17 authors in this book, so we will be launching this month. We're launching December 1st is when we are launching. So keep an eye out. All these ladies we're going to be on fire for the next couple of weeks. So just keep an eye out. So, all right, let's go ahead and start with my wonderful author here. Carla, go ahead and introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what you do, and just a little snippet of your chapter.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Laquita. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Carla Davis, and I am born and raised here in good old Southern California, but currently reside in Moreno Valley. I am currently the owner and CEO of my very own staffing company called Griffin Dean and Son Staffing Services. Let's see a little snippet about my book. I think that all women have it in us to become, powerhouses. However, there are struggles that we go through along the way. And my story encapsulates a very pivotal, life-changing moment that happened to me on my birthday. So I think this my chapter literally is the chapter which kind of changed the trajectory of my career. So it's a must read.
Awesome. I can't look. I've read it quite a few times. Okay, being the visionary here, and I'm gonna tell you, every time I read it, I just y'all gonna wanna go to fight for this woman right here when y'all read that. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna give no teachers away. That's it. So we also have one of our editors in the house today. So please introduce yourself, who you are, where you are, and give us a little bit about what you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla. And thank you, Tiffany. I'm so excited to be here as well and to be an editor for Anthology 2, Volume 2. My name is Laquita Walker, and I am the founder and CVO. CVO is Creative Visionary Officer of Laquita's Laughter. And Laughter, LAFTA, stands for Life After the Accident. So I coach and consult individuals and organizations to ensure that their writing is clearly and concisely conveyed to their readers. So I am very, very excited to be here, originally from Michigan and currently in Aurora, Colorado.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laquita. And man, y'all, I'm gonna tell you, this one right here, her and her other editor, we've got two editors on this one, and they have been going to work. Okay, I just cannot say enough how much I appreciate you and Tila Shaw, our other editor as well. So
Welcome.
thank you all. Thank you both for what you do. So all right, let's get into it. So Carla, telling your story. I mean, when we go through those types of situations in life, it's trauma. And how was it having to revisit that and just, get that out there and just really just tell your truth? How was that experience for you?
Well, that's a great question, Tiffany, because when I was first approached to do this and write about the situation that had occurred, I was very ambivalent about it because I didn't want to relive it because it was extremely painful. So I didn't know that I wanted to relive it because I thought that if I just didn't talk about it, it would go away. However, it was actually quite the opposite. When I sat down and put pen to paper, I was able to not only relive the moment, but go into extreme detail about what happened that fateful day. And I found that once I put a period at the end of my chapter, I was able to kind of release the pain.
Wow.
So it was very
Um,
transcendent. I mean, it 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 was so it was very healing, and I'm a spiritual person, and it was very healing for me. And I do feel that without writing, putting it down on paper, I'd still be kind of suffering from the pain of what
mm,
happened. But actually, writing it down was like a release.
Mhm.
So it was beautiful. It was beautiful for me, and I thank you for the opportunity to be able to do that.
thank you so much for saying yes. I mean, it's
Thank
yeah.
you.
I mean, it's so wonderful to see, when someone writes their story and they go through that healing process, because you're right. If you don't write it down and get it out somehow, which writing it down is the best way to release that,
Mhm.
Correct.
because that is releasing it from that subconscious. That's whatever you're holding in there. That's letting it out, letting it go. And even if you never shared your story, she just wrote it down, that's a release right there as well. So anybody out there listening that may be, struggling through certain things and just holding on to, a situation that you've been through in life, write it down.
Mhm.
Even if you don't share it with anyone, just write it down just to release it. But the sweet spot about it is when you write it down and you share that with someone, that's just amazing all in itself, because that now is your healing, but it's also someone else's healing, because someone else is waiting to hear that story,
Right.
because they've
Absolutely.
gone through somewhat of the same situation and they're like, man, you know what? I'm just going to take myself out over this because I can't deal with this. I'm all by myself. Everybody feels like they're all alone. But reading a story like this is going to make them understand that they're not alone, and then that's the amazing part about it. So again, I thank you so much for being courageous to just show up
Mhm.
and share your story.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Laquita, man, there's 17 women in this
Whew.
project, okay? And there's a lot of stories going on and
Mhm.
just a lot of emotion in these stories. So tell me a little bit about just your experience with reading these and having to edit these. And as you say, you keep their voice, in their story. So tell me a little bit about, tell the audience a little bit about that experience for you.
Yes. First, let me say that thank you for the opportunity to be an editor of this amazing anthology, Volume 2. And Carla, thank you for your bravery and your courage to share your story, because it is a very vulnerable experience. I have been, I say it's a blessing to have been the editor of 8 of the stories. And when I say wow, when I wow is an understatement. As I was reading some of them, and as Tiffany shared, whenever I'm doing any editing work, I'm always ensuring that I'm capturing the writer's voice and ensuring that they are writing for the reader, because that's what we're writing for. We're writing for the reader, right? To connect with our readers. And I had to couple of the stories. One of the writers, she's an artist. She's a poet and other things with artistry. And when I was reading her story, I had to step back and pause for a minute. And before I got to the part where she said she was an artist, I said to myself, I think she's a writer. I think she's a poet, because her chapter was wrote very uniquely. So I had
Mhm.
to come at it in a different perspective, because I'm also a poet and a writer. And other chapters, I had to, after finish editing them, it was 2 of them specifically, I had to close my laptop
Wow.
because I couldn't stop crying.
Mm.
I could not stop crying because I saw myself and some of my story in what they were sharing. And it was just the courage to put it on paper, right? And as we want to connect with our future readers, I was already connected as an editor. with these stories, and just amazed and so proud that they are still here to tell those stories. And as I was reading these chapters, all of them, and some of them I have snuck in the folder to read the others.
As you should.
Right? I'm just like, I'm so thankful to be a part of this network. We are really a sisterhood.
Yes,
And
yes.
and to be an editor, that means that writers trust your skills and abilities to make sure that you, again, capturing their voice and making
Yes.
sure you're helping them to make that connection with readers. And it has been a beautiful experience. So thank you, Tiffany, for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh God, this whole experience just has me. I mean, I fly out of bed every single day, just knowing that we're working on this, that the launch is coming up. Look, y'all, I'm just saying you're gonna have to get this book. And if you haven't got volume 1, get volume 1 too. That was the beginning of
Yeah.
this. That was what started it all. Just learning about the wonderful women in what I thought was going to be a small group, which is now well over 300 worldwide. Um, just wanting to support and love each other and just get to know each other. And you hear about all these magnificent stories. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's the good, the bad, the ugly in life, but it's just all magnificent. I've learned so much and I've grown so much just reading the stories and just seeing how you all have just gone through to get to the other side, and it just really helps to empower me as well. So I'm gonna continue to do these projects. So anybody out there, hey, volume 3, look, it's gonna be there too. So you'll have the opportunity. So ladies, we're gonna go ahead and we are going to break for just a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. And we are back. This is Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, elevating your mind, body, and spirit. And we have 2 of the wonderful participants in the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse Anthology Vol.2. We have one of the beautiful authors, Carla Davis, and we also have one of our wonderful editors, Laquita Walker. So thank you so much. So, ladies, when women get together, sometimes it's just not nice. Sometimes you got a lot of cattiness going on and competition and things, and you know, when you're in a little stress too, it comes out, right? And being in a book project, it could be a little stressful because you're doing something that you've never done before.
Right.
You're being put out there, right? So, how has that experience been for you in just working closely with other women, for the last now, almost 6 months? And just moving through this process. So how's that experience been for you, Carla?
Well, I tell you, if you read my book, I'm kind of skittish, dealing with, groups of women. However, this was a very unique experience for me. And because I knew Tiffany as a person before I knew her as a sister, um, there was this automatic trust that we had. When you meet somebody for the first time and they just click, your spirits click.
Mhm.
And then when I was, fortunately asked to join this group, I was skittish at first. So I figured, okay, it's Tiffany asking, so I'll go ahead and check it out. And much to my surprise, this is probably one of the most spiritual, inspiring, and loving environments I have ever been involved with. These group of ladies gave me a safe place to fall. We've laughed together, we've cried together. We've shared each other's story of, triumph, trials, um, with openness, no judgments. It's just love. They just love you up. And, it seemed like every time I was on this group, something had happened, either good, bad, or indifferent. We celebrate each other's wins. We lift each other up in our triumphs and our trials. And it's a beautiful group. And it's the kind of group that even after working a long day, you kind of look forward to these women. You kind of look forward to their faces. Sometimes it's different faces you haven't seen, but they're all cut from the same cloth. And it's rare, it's unique, it's almost uncanny that you can find a group of women that support each other. And I'd like to hope that this is more the rule instead of the exception.
Right.
Thank you so much for that, Carla.
Well
This
said.
has been, oh, okay, well said. Well said. Because I'll tell you, this group was built off of prayer. It really was, because I too have been through the trials with certain women and then certain groups and things. And, you tend to want to be that lone person off on your own island, right? Because you just don't want to deal with too much stuff. But, again, I prayed and a few came. And then I prayed some more, and then they brought some other people. And it has just really been amazing how just saying, hey, Lord, just, just connect me with those right people. And then a little bit of that HR experience, because I have vetted pretty much everybody that is in the group, just like I would an employee if I was hiring them. So, I mean, Carly, I like to just get to know people. So I'm glad to just, it touches my heart to know that, it is being received as that safe space for women to come and just share their truth. I mean, whatever it is, again, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it is, we're here for you. We're here for you we're here to cry with you. We're here to laugh with you until our bellies hurt. We're here to collaborate with each other and just really make powerful things happen in the world. So thank you for that. So Laquita, what about you?
For me, it has been a much needed and welcomed experience. I unexpectedly lost my mother in January, and I don't have any biological sisters. And when I met Tiffany, we met through a professional site. We set up a meeting. Supposed to have been a quick, maybe like 30-minute meeting, Carla.
Yeah.
Not with Tiffany.
It was on Zoom for 3.5 hours. Her husband was like, are you hungry? Are you going to eat dinner? Like, are you really still talking to the same
Oh, yeah.
person? Yeah, and it didn't feel like it. We were just, we talked about the book and my skills and experience and my value add to this anthology. And we just connected. It was just an authentic, genuine connection. And when I attended the first Girl Powerhouse Network meeting that we have on Tuesdays, hint, hint,
Okay.
and it was one of those days for me. And in my introduction, I was just sobbing, just sobbing. And it was so much love poured into me. Like I couldn't keep up with the phone numbers in the chat. Call me, text me. I'm here for you. Let it out. It has been such, again, welcome and needed sisterhood. A bond that, in my opinion, is unbreakable. If we do have any disagreements, I feel that we will work them out because we trust one another.
That's
Yes,
right.
we do.
We rely on one another, whether it's professionally, like I said, networking, connecting, personally. It's been such a beautiful thing. And I agree with you, Carla, that it should be a rule.
Yeah.
And not, an exception. It should be a rule of how we are doing things in this network. It's just been absolutely magnificent. And I'm just so very honored and thankful to be a part of this.
Well, thank you, Laquita. And I'm blessed to have both of you in our tribe. So, any ladies out there that are listening, if you're looking for a place to come where it's just a safe space for you to be authentically you, reach
Yes.
out, please,
Mhm.
because we got exactly what you need. We have all the love, all the support. If you need business support, the business support is there. I mean, I'll tell you just a little, just a little bit of how powerful this community is. We had a young lady that was going through a divorce, and she was having an issue with her legal advisor. And we had an attorney that happened to show up on that call the same day, both from California. Okay. And I had no idea that the attorney even did family law. And she was like, I can help. And they were able to connect, and she was able to give her some guidance. And that just was huge.
Mhm.
So just to have a network where you could come for pretty much anything. I mean, and we're worldwide.
Right.
So that's powerful. So please reach out if you are looking for a community that's just going to love on you. So, all right, ladies, let's get a little personal. So we're going to talk about some favorites. So what is your favorite food? Carla, what's your favorite food?
Well, if we're talking about from a food perspective or kind of a sweets perspective, my favorite food has to go into the good old fashioned crab, steak, and lobster. I mean, just
Yummy.
fill me up with some crab or some steak and lobster. But my favorite dessert is white cake. And anybody who knows me knows this. It's white cake with buttercream icing.
Ooh.
I'm weak. Every diet has suffered because of that. Because it's just one of those things that I refuse to give up. I have to have white cake and buttercream icing. And if I send my husband to the store to get me white cake and buttercream icing, he has learned the hard way that if he comes back with chocolate cake, it'll sit there or go in the trash. Anything other than white cake and buttercream icing, I refuse to eat. That is my absolute weakness. I'll eat it anywhere, anytime of the day. More the merrier. That's my go.
Love it. Love it.
My mouth started watering when she said buttercream frosting. I'm like, oh yes.
Oh, girl. White cake and buttercream.
Oh, wow. See, that sounds so good. That does. All right, Laquita, what about you?
My favorite food is Mexican food. I love me some good tacos and me a good enchilada. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely love it. And since Carla brought up dessert,
Huh.
my favorite dessert is peach cobbler. I can sit and just with some vanilla ice cream, but it has to be French
French
vanilla.
vanilla. I was gonna say.
Thank you. I would just sit and keep eating it and like, okay, maybe you should stop. Okay, maybe you can get just a little bit more. It is peaches. Okay. It is a fruit. That's my excuse. You are eating a fruit. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
It's healthy because it's got fruit in it.
It's okay. It got fruit in it. It's okay.
Silly. Oh, I love it. Look, I might have to agree with you on the Mexican food though, because I get like Taco Tuesdays. That's my favorite day of the week. Okay.
Yes.
And I'll say, look, my favorite sweet though is pecan pie. And I can only have just a little bit because it's so sweet.
So sweet.
But especially during the holidays, a little pecan pie with, like I said, some French vanilla ice cream. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I have to add this because sometimes I feel so guilty when I go to my grocery store because they see me often And every time I go there, I'm buying a birthday cake. They must think that I know hundreds of people with birthdays because every time I go, I say, "Hi, I'm looking for, a cake." And she says, I said, it has to be white with buttercream frosting. And they're all like birthday cakes. And then she said, "Do you want a name written on it?" I'm like, "No." So they must be like, "Why does she always come in here buying birthday cakes?" It's like, it's for me. I mean, at least,
every day.
Right?
seriously, I have purchased so many birthday cakes. They must be wondering, who is this woman who comes in here
Oh my
and buys
gosh.
all the birthday cakes? So yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
I
that's
love
how
it.
bad
I
it
love
is.
it.
That's how bad it
So our next favorite, what was your dream car? So growing up, what was your dream car that you wanted?
Mhm.
is. I'm glad you asked that question because it just goes to show if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. So
Mhm.
when I was growing up, I had an aunt that drove this Mercedes. And
Mhm.
every time she drove up in her Mercedes, I was like, wow, someday I'm gonna have a Mercedes Benz. Someday. And I've always wanted a Mercedes. So guess what I did? I had to wait until my son completed college to get it. But when he did,
Okay.
I went and bought me a brand new Mercedes. So
Right.
that's
Yes.
Give me that dream car. Okay.
that's my dream
That's
car.
making dreams come true. I love
Exactly.
it.
I
I love
love it. I love it. Love it.
I had to sacrifice, to put my son through college, which
Mhm.
I did, and I'm proud of. But after that, I'm like, it's my
It's
turn.
your time. That's
Good for
right. I
you.
love it.
Good for you.
Awesome. What about you, Laquita? What was your dream car?
Growing up, my favorite dream car was a Cadillac.
Okay.
Back home in Michigan, seeing like, usually like the older gentlemen with nice clean Cadillacs. My uncle always had nice, very clean, I mean spotless Cadillac. And for me, I was like, yes, it was just nice, stylish. You could see yourself stepping out in a
Oh
nice
yeah.
dress, or you're a man dressed nice, and the Cadillac is just said something. You just felt like, okay, I'm important, So it was the Cadillac for me.
Love it. I think for me, I'm gonna say it had been the Corvette. My father loved Corvettes as well. He got one later on in life, and it was unfortunate how I wound up with the vet for a little bit. But when he passed, I did have the vet for a little bit. It was a little too much speed underneath my foot, though, so that had to go somewhere else because yeah, your girl's got a lead foot. So, but at least it was, for a minute, it did come in my life. So, so ladies, we're going to go ahead and just go to one more quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back with some words of wisdom and encouragement from our author and editor from the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse Anthology Volume 2. And we're back. I love that commercial. That makes me want to just like jump out of my seat and dance.
Dance with him, yeah.
I think all the Mupo commercials are fun. So thank you, Michelle Mupo, for the fun Mupo commercial. So all right, ladies. So look, when we get on here, I tell you, we get going and time just flies. We are already at that 30-minute mark, but we cannot leave our audience without giving them some words of encouragement, some inspiration, So, Carla, please, if you won't mind giving our audience some words of encouragement, some words of wisdom.
Yeah, I'll share, one that, my dear mother, God rest her soul, shared with me the whole time I was growing up. And she said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right.
Mm.
So step out on faith, find yourself a group of women to surround you, either this group or another group, but find yourself a fan club, and just be open and be honest, and you'd be surprised. And nothing lasts forever. you know Things always look better in the morning.
Thank you,
Yes,
Carla.
that was beautiful.
Right. It was.
For me,
Rita.
also from my mom, and it was don't hate, congratulate.
Oh, yes.
And it's like sometimes as human beings, we can see somebody else doing something, and instead of congratulating them or asking questions on how they accomplished something, we want to spit negativity or jealousy. But instead of hating on a person, congratulate them.
Yes.
And ask questions. How did you do that? How did you achieve that? Can you help me? And if we can't help you, then we can connect you to someone who can help you, because they may not be our expertise. So my words of wisdom is don't hate, congratulate.
I love that. I love that. That is one of my most favorite quotes. It really is. And that's all we do in the Girl Powerhouse Network. We do not hate. We just continue to just congratulate,
Mm.
celebrate. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for being a part of the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse Anthology Volume 2. Just thank you for everything that you do, because you are both truly amazing, magnificent. Everybody, just continue to believe in yourself, continue to just strive
Mhm.
for the absolute best, whatever it is. I don't care how far you think it is, it's not.
Mhm.
Just keep going, just keep pushing, because you're going to make it. I
That's
love
right.
you so much, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, we will be having a few more of the audience, or a few more of the authors coming to us this weekend. So if you didn't get a chance to check out the last week's, hopefully we can get a bunch of them on the screen, hand, ladies, this coming weekend on Sunday. So love you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.